All right, so let me start with a quick question. I think that John Myros already asked it, but I'm going to ask it again. Who of you plays video games? Okay. Who of you consider yourself to be a nerd? Ah, we got some nerds over there. Cool, my people. Now I'm going to spend my entire speech talking about video games and nerds. Not really. What I will do is share some of the life experiences, life lessons that I had, and video games just so happen to play a major part in that. Okay. So when I was just a little Leon, I was a dreamer. A dreamer that spent most of his free time watching movies, playing video games, because it was a way to escape reality. Because for me, growing up was a challenge. I grew up in the midst of welfare, halfway houses, bankruptcies, no idea where to start, who to talk to, what to do to make my dreams come true. Today, I manage the team responsible for some of the biggest video game shows, video game conventions in the world. And this is a story on how I upgraded my nerdness and leveraged it to fulfill my dreams. So, the upgraded nerd. So, let's take you back to the summer of 1997. It was a time prior to social media, virtual reality, iPhones. I was 16 at that time, and unlike most 16-year-olds, I didn't spend most of my time going out having fun with friends. No, I was one of those guys that sat in front of the classroom, which didn't really add to my street credibility, as you can imagine. Anyway, back to the story. The summer of 1997, and my mom forced my older brother to take me along to this club in the bustling city of Hoorn. Yes, Hoorn. You know it, exactly. Since he had no other option than to comply, he took me along for the ride. When I got there, I saw that they had an ad up on the screen looking for additional staff members. Since I thought that working there would totally add to my non-existent coolness, I applied. That's me. I applied. And over the course of the 6 years that I worked there, I tried every job they had to offer, from picking up broken pieces of glass, I still have the scars to prove it, to cleaning up the restrooms after a heavy night of clubbing. I still have the mental scars to prove that as well. But I ended up producing my own R&B and hip-hop related parties after getting numerous requests from visitors to play more of that type of music. So when I was 18 years old, I produced my first party. And I produced my first party, and I still remember being so scared that nobody would show up because, first of all, I wasn't the most popular kid out there. And second of all, I remember my mom telling me horror stories about her birthday party, nobody showing up, so I was a bit traumatized in advance. The day of the event came, drove my bike to the downtown area of Hoorn. Yes, people, Hoorn has a downtown area, just saying. Arriving in front of the club, seeing a huge waiting line of people. At first, I thought they were there for the cafe next door, but when I saw all the beanies, Jordans, and oversized clothing, it dawned to me that they were there for my party. It had sold out before it even began. Later that night, I remember seeing the manager of the club. He was eyeballing the crowd of dancing people. When I approached him, he said, "It's very easy to let these kind of moments go by. Always take the time to appreciate what you've created." Okay, sure. It's funny how the universe has this way of pushing you into a certain direction, and all you need to do is follow its lead. So I followed its lead, and before I knew it, I was producing events on a weekly basis. Through that, I learned more about the so-called urban culture, the huge subculture that blew over from the United States, but didn't really caught on here yet in Holland. This one night, though, I remember in a moment of insomnia mixed with a moment of clarity, I had this idea. The idea was for a music-oriented TV show that catered to the Dutch urban youth. You know, sometimes you have these ideas to only forget about it 5 minutes later. This was one of those ideas that stayed in my head for a few days, so I decided to talk about it with my older brother, Gerald, whom I see as an authority on hip-hop culture, which I was not at all. So after talking to him, we put our combined ideas on paper into this TV show treatment for a TV show called Urban Lifestyle. Urban Lifestyle, there we have it. Now, it could have ended right there, but I thought it would be a nice practice just to send it around to media, get their feedback. And we actually got an email from production powerhouse iWorks. Don't know if you know them, but it's big guys. They told us that they were very interested in our format because it spoke to a growing target audience that they did not yet reach. We were like, oh shit, they're interested in us. So instead of basically selling our TV show, we decided to keep it for us and decided to produce it ourselves. Might have not been the best idea, but we decided to do it anyway. A few months later, we received an email from music TV channel The Box. Don't know if you still remember that. Who invited us into this bagel bar in Amsterdam on the Vijzelsgracht. I still remember that. It was so nauseous I was so nervous and to the point of being nauseous. When we got there, they told us, my brother and myself, that they have been talking to other producers, other video game production houses about a similar format, but what they really liked about us is the fact that we didn't take ourselves too serious. At the end of the meeting, I still remember it well, they asked us, can you produce a pilot? My brother and myself were like, of course we can produce a pilot. Yes, we will produce a pilot. We walked out of the meeting looking at each other. What's a pilot? We had no idea. So after asking my best friend Google, and with the help of some of my friends, we managed to produce a pilot episode that convinced the box to offer us a contract. There I was, 21 years old, starting my own TV show that was broadcasted on national TV. Overnight, I changed from this nerdy, introverted person into a nerdy, introverted person that had to sign autographs and take pictures. That was pretty intense, as you can imagine. But, I mean, as one does, we thought over the months, as time went by, the popularity of our TV show grew and grew, and we became more popular, which was really cool. I saw my future driving around in a white Bentley. I was wrong. Because as one does, when he or she gets a little fame, we started to believe too much in the fictional characters we created around ourselves. Besides that, the fact that we had zero business experience didn't really contribute to a very stable working environment. So, in the end, this resulted in the inevitable discontinuation of our contract with the box. So there I was, 23-ish, had lived the dream and had to start again from scratch. That was kind of harsh. But it did give me the time to finally graduate from college, since I had been sort of neglecting that for the past few years because I was too focused on doing a TV show. And it taught me that with hard work, everything is possible. So, hard work. After graduation, I did as so many other post-grads do. I started applying to every job offer that they had with, well, no real results. I got rejection after rejection. Either I didn't have the right education, right experience, right profile. I heard them all. Actually, it's kind of a funny anecdote. One of the first jobs I had after graduating from college and after doing my TV show was working at a telemarketing firm in Amsterdam, where my colleagues recognized me from TV and were like, I know you. Aren't you rich? Well, since I actually had lost a lot of money, that was an awkward situation, as you can imagine. I kept on replying to job openings, and this one day about 11 years ago, I was supposed to, that was our crash. Oh, yeah, we crashed and burned. That's what happens. But this one day about 11 years ago, I saw an opening on Monster Board for product manager Netherlands at video game publisher Ubisoft. Small challenge. They were asking for someone with 6 years of marketing experience, a marketing degree. I had none of this. But I did do this little TV show thing, produce a few parties, graduated from college, and, well, I used to play a lot of video games as well, which maybe contributed. To my surprise, I was invited. But after the interview, they sent me an email telling me that I was not the right person for the job. Of course, I tried to convince them otherwise. I sent them an email with a very long email trying to convince them that they should hire me, and I actually got invited back to talk to managing director Edwin, who said literally, the way we work at Ubisoft is quite simple. If you do something, you do it well. Failure is not an option. Okay. That resonated very well with me, and somehow I managed to get the job. At a certain point in time, I was promoted to PR and events manager for the Netherlands, and after helping out our marketing director during one of the biggest video game conventions in the world, E3. I remember walking through these doors for the first time and being like, oh my God, if only I could get my hands on this. Little did I know. As the years went by, I kind of turned into this well-known figure within the video game industry. Well, no, not yet. No, I'm going too fast now. Turned into this well-known figure within the video game industry because of the events that I produced and because of the fact that I turned into this sort of spokesperson for Ubisoft due to the fact that I had some on-stage and camera experience, which is rather unique in the video game industry, apparently. So, After these years, I got promoted, and it actually went really well. I got a job offer from our European office to become a European PR manager, but that didn't feel right for me. It was like, it's not the right job. It's not really a level up. It's more doing the same thing, but on a different level. So I politely declined. Of course, not everything was perfect, don't get me wrong. I mean, I remember there are enough incidents, situations where I almost lost my job. I'll share one with you. So there was this incident where I allegedly uploaded a letter that we received from the former Minister of Finance. In this letter, he praised one of our games. Apparently, he was a gamer, and I thought it would be a good idea to put this online. The media thought differently because, well, it was the recession, and people thought that he should have been more focused on fixing the financial problems than playing our video games. Yes, good people of TED, that was not my finest moment, if you can imagine. Anyways, this one Thursday night, about 4 years ago, I got called by Edwin, our managing director, who never called me before on my cell phone. I didn't even know he had my cell phone number, so when he called me late at night, I assumed the worst. I mean, being called by the boss of your boss late at night, 9 out of 10 times results in, well, someone being fired. I wasn't fired. He told me he had just finished talking to a member of Ubisoft top management about me. Like, okay, I'm getting fired for sure now. He said, no, actually, we are very impressed with what you've been doing locally. And we were thinking about you, or they were thinking about you for this job in the international events team at Ubisoft HQ in Paris. Now realize, good people, that I was very comfortable in the position that I had. It was all like Hakuna Matata. And the prospect of moving to Paris, I mean, Paris is a nice city, but I didn't really like that idea. Certain point in time, I found out that they didn't only want me to be a part of the international events team, they wanted me to manage the team. That was the moment I've always been like dreaming of. But to move from being responsible for a few local events and some PR to leading a billion-dollar company's international events was intimidating, to say the least, as you can imagine. But I decided to take a leap of faith and move to Paris. That was over 3 years ago, and now my Paris flights does work. A rabbit, that's me. If I would say that moving to Paris and starting a new job was easy, that's a lie. I mean, it was one of the most challenging things I've ever done. Because in my mind, I was still this kid that drove his bike to the party being afraid that nobody would show up. It almost made me quit. But I'm happy that I didn't, though. Because at the same time, it's been one of the most fulfilling experiences I ever had. Working at Ubisoft already allowed me to grow as a person, be myself, while also being able to create an experience of a lifetime for our fans with the events that we did. And that for me is my payoff, being able to create events that bring people together, being able to create events that make people laugh and forget about the problems that they might have at home. Now, I don't act, I don't sing, I don't dance, and I have no hidden video game production skills. But what I do have is the ability to dream and have a vision. But just dreaming and having a vision isn't enough. I mean, there are a lot of people out there, I think everyone here at home, you have dreams and you have visions. By embracing who I am, I have found a way to translate my vision into words and my words into action. Now you might wonder, how does that relate to me? Well, I realize that probably we all lead completely different lives, have completely different life goals, have completely different experiences. But where we are the same is that we all want to make the best out of our lives while being able to be ourselves. So what if you look at life as if it was a video game? With levels to complete, bosses to slay, experience to acquire, achievements to unlock. You are the player and you control your own destiny. And sometimes that means you have to do a level over and over and over and over again. But with patience, persistence, and new perspective, you will succeed. Just keep on playing. But what if you succeed? I mean, it's funny because success is a funny thing because once you have it, it's very easy to forget where you came from. It's very easy to forget how privileged you really are. And I mean, just like me, if you're not ready for success, success will eat you up and spit you right back out. It was a very close thing to me. It will eat you up and spit you right back out. You need to stay patient. You need to keep focused. You need to stay alert. You keep on learning, keep on working, and realize that there's light at the end of the tunnel. So instead of letting negativity hold you back, see your mistakes that you make, see your shortcomings as life lessons, and fuel for your motivation to leave your mark. Because success can be a good thing if it enables you to create a situation in which we all win in this game called life. Thank you very much.